But I got
no
this
nip
shirt.
slips today, everyone.
Please, no.
No nip slips.
Imagine I send MDT my headshots and they're like, we can't use this one because your nipples are literally out. I'd be like, I was trying to make more money.
Free the nip.
There's a lot of people that are like open about it. Like I like don't care. Like if you want to show your nipple, show your nipple.
Yeah.
But personally, like I'm not that confident. I wouldn't show my nipple.
You're not.
Not just that.
Person.
No, I'm not really like an exposing.
I mean, I think for corporate headshots or for commercial headshots, it's probably not the right direction
not on
to
brand.
go in. Although, maybe that'll get you the job. Who knows?
You know, sometimes it works out that a creeper is casting you.
Yeah.
There's been some creepy people on set before, yeah.
I can imagine.
And usually I'm just like, never want to work with you again.
Yeah.
Or like, if it happens with my agency ever, I will for sure be telling them.
Oh.
Like it hasn't happened with them casting me or, putting an audition.
So they send you to places.
Yeah,
and
they send me
and then
to
you could be like,
auditions.
that place sucked because of this.
Yeah, I could be like, that person was disrespectful,
Yeah.
that person was racist, like whatever it is, because it's not chill.
Yeah.
And I'm in the position where I'm like, I don't want to be treated poorly, or I don't want to be taken advantage of because I'm just not like, I don't know. I feel like before maybe I would have let some stuff slip, like when you're younger and you just gotta do what you gotta do,
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, I'm not getting away with that shit.
Yeah, and it's a different time now too.
Yeah, that too.
And I love the fact that women are speaking up and
and don't feel like scared. Are you trying to cross the street?
Oh Jesus.
And don't feel scared to like just be honest and just tell people like how it is. Like whenever somebody's being a little crazy with me, I'm just like, no, that was very offensive, or that was disrespectful, or please don't say that in front of me if that's really how you feel. Like that's just I guess
because you're a professional too. You're like super pro.
Yeah. I just think it'd be fun to have more subscribers to be able to like get ads.
Yeah.
And get some money off of ads.
Is that what drives you, Belgica? The money?
Money.
Is that what?
Yeah.
Do you know who Billie Eilish is?
Oh my god.
Dude, she's playing there at the end of the month and it's sold out, and to find them online are like $300 some for tickets.
I just started listening to her music.
Me too.
And she's so weird, and I
know,
love her.
Do you know anybody who works here that can get us in?
What
Because
is
I have
this?
another friend. It's Bill Graham.
No.
Look, Billie Eilish, May 29th. I'm so sad.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish. No, I love her.
What is the picture he has? Is that a bloody hand?
He's probably a detective, and that's probably some kind of evidence.
Oh, that's an animal. Is that like a hoof, like a goat?
It's a hoof. I don't know.
That's so weird. Dude, hide your evidence.
Dude, hide your evidence, guy. That was We
so
got
weird
you,
that we
sir.
were like talking about blood and look over and there's like just a weird picture. Oh my gosh. Oh no, am I gonna make it?
We got this shit. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can cut off whoever
Oh,
you
there's
want.
like a store now. Do you want to tell me? So why did you get into photography?
So back when I started taking photos, it's because I actually went back to school, to college, after not being in college for a while, and I was like working a lot. I decided I was gonna go back, not declare a major, and just take classes that I wanted to take, just for the sole purpose of learning.
Were you trying to like find something that you might like, or?
Sure, I don't know. I was just I wanted
like,
to see. This is kind of how I operate. Is like
let's see
whichever direction I'm gonna get pulled is, so I just kind of like steer myself that way. But so I took the only 2 photography classes that they offered, and it was in a darkroom, so I was able to learn in darkroom.
Wow.
Do black and white photography, and so I feel fortunate that I was able to learn that way. And then I spent all this time in the darkroom, and then I discovered Photoshop.
Oh my god,
and I'm
I
like,
love Photoshop.
So it takes, this thing that took me 3 hours in the dark room to do, it takes me 5 minutes now. So, so then I started getting really proficient at Photoshop, and I remember my photography teacher telling me about my projects, and he was like, look, when you do your projects, you approach them not as a photographer, you approach them as an artist. And I remember that being like, oh, okay. So like, and I didn't think about it until that point, because every photography project, I was like, oh, well, I want to do this, I want to make a collage, and then there's going to be a button you press, and I'm going to record the thing of the model that I photographed, her doing this crazy voice of the character that I'm putting in this thing. And he was like, what? Like, what the fuck are you doing? So yeah, so I've always kind of been that way, and I've always approached photography in that way. At a certain point when I was doing it for a long time, I had to kind of steer it and make it a little more businessy, so
you could like make money.
So I could make money. So, so I ran my photography business for a decade in Pennsylvania. And I was doing all kinds of stuff. I was shooting weddings, I was doing portraits, I was doing... Oh, do you need to see the mirror? Sorry.
Oh, you can block my mirror. That's totally fine. I'm a great driver.
Yeah, she's great. She's only hit 3 people. It's cool.
I have other mirrors. And I could see like a quarter size.
Oh, perfect. That's perfect.
Okay, so
yeah,
for 10 years.
Yeah, so for 10 years, and then I worked at a camera shop for 6 years.
At the
during
same
that
time, or like
yeah,
after?
during that time, and what was good about the camera shop is I was literally, it was photography all day, every day. It was like I'd leave, I'd do photo stuff, I'd go to work, we'd talk about photo stuff, I'd know all the cameras. So I got really proficient at the technical end of things. Yeah, and and then by the end of my career in Pennsylvania doing photography, I was shooting for billboard company, tourism industry, magazines. I did some stuff for Under Armour,
cool.
And yeah, I don't know, it was really fun.
Were you painting at the same time?
Not really. So here's the thing,
I feel like you've told me how you started painting.
Yeah, so like when I was doing this kind of photography, I still needed to fulfill that like creative thing. So I was doing horror photography at the same time I was doing like weddings.
Oh my god.
And there was this magazine that did a spread on me, and one side was wedding stuff, the other side was horror stuff. And this is in Pennsylvania, so I was known as this like horror photographer,
weirdo
but
guy.
did weddings,
Yes. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it was kind of an interesting mix, obviously. So
people were probably like freaked out, like, oh my god,
yeah,
why is he like a Satan worshiper?
Yeah.
Why does he like horror?
That magazine I did a zombie photograph for the cover of that issue, and they said they lost sponsors because of the cover.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they didn't care. They were just kind of like, they thought it was funny, but
wow.
Yeah, that means I'm doing good work.
Dude, that's so cool.
So during that time I was doing these, I'd set up these really elaborate horror shoots, and I do all the makeup, I do the costumes, work with the models, and I was eventually like missing like getting my hands dirty. So I had a friend who basically sat a canvas down in front of me because I was having like a hard time in life at the time, and he was just like, dude, you gotta paint something. So that's kind of how I got back into it, was just literally like somebody threw it in front of me, and then I just
like saw that you needed it.
Yeah, and then I kind of just reconnected with it, with painting, and then I've been doing that since. And then when I came to San Francisco,
when we worked at the dungeon,
San Francisco
was that your
dungeon,
first job here?
It was, yeah.
Wow.
I just sort of, I didn't really want to be known as a photographer here. Nothing against photographers, but
you were kind of just tired of it.
I was tired of getting treated like a photographer, and like you work for a decade on something, on your craft, and you still get treated like a photographer. Where they're like, hey, photographer, come take a photo of me. And I'm like, dude, like I've worked so fucking hard to get to this point, and you still treat me like I'm the hired help, and I was just like tired of that. So I decided when I came here, I'm like, I'm really gonna hone in on learning how to paint really well and get that kind of respect from people. So that's what I'm doing.
That's so cool. That's tiny.
I think you got it. Yeah,
Okay.
you got it. You have like the tiniest car too. You're good. You can fit. Don't hit him. Oh, you're totally hitting the What do you do?
Don't look right now.
But don't
Shane.
look while
Just-
we're parallel parking.
Okay, I can do this.
You're good.
You
You're
know,
okay.
I was joking that first time. Here's a perfect one. Good.
Good. That's cool.
Third time's a charm.
Oh boy.
I'm honestly not that bad of a driver. I just don't know what's happening right now. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to.
I think you're cutting it too early. You're fine. You're
There
good.
we go.
I mean, we could park partially on the curb.
I'm not gonna make it. We need to find
Doesn't
somewhere
matter.
else.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Do you watch The Office?
No.
Oh, God.
You know, it's funny. The Office is filmed in Scranton, which is like
Yes.
like less than an hour
I've
away
talked
from
to you
where I
about
used to
this.
live. Yeah.
Am I okay? Let's see.
You're fine. You're good.
Are my tires like okay?
Nah, you're okay.
I'm a talented person.